Weight loss is easy. Well, we all know that isn't totally true, but I do believe it is easy without silly fad diets and all sorts of other things the fitness industry is trying to sell you. Stay tuned and I'll tell you how. Well, you're probably all hating me for a headline grabbing intro like that, but why am I doing that this week? Well, I need to remind myself, so I thought, well, why not remind myself and tell you how easy it is at the same time. And why do I need to remind myself? Well, if you've been following me for the last 70 weeks, I've been doing quite well. But shock horror, I've had a holiday and not quite stayed to plan, which has resulted in me gaining weight. Luckily, I lost £2 last week, which I'm happy with, but I'm still £10 up on the last 3 months, which is exactly what I said I wouldn't do, and I'm sure something that you guys all deal with as well if you get to this point. It's all too easy when you've done well to sit back and float, and the problem is that float comes up very slowly, and then before you know it, you're £10 heavier like me. So what do you do about it? You remind yourself what worked for you. I'm not going to do too much science here, but we all know there's all sorts of ways of losing weight. Every single one of them relies on you hitting a calorie deficit. Simple. A lot of people on here beat up on Slimming World, but for some people it works if they're in a calorie deficit. Now, the reason I beat on it is they've got this concept of free food, and that's where the madness is. Pasta at one point with Slimming World was a free food, but we all know that if we ate 4,000 calories a day of pasta, we'd be fat. And there's all sorts of other things. There's a lot of people beating up on cutting carbs out your diet. Carbs provide energy. Energy is good. Energy keeps you going. However, it doesn't keep you full for longer, so you need to lean more towards the protein. Or better still, just have a balanced bloody diet. So how do we achieve this magical calorie deficit? It's dead easy. First thing you need to know is what are the right calories for you. And the way to find that out is to work out what your TDEE is, which stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. And that represents the total amount of calories your body needs to maintain its current weight, and it accounts for several factors: your basal metabolic rate, your physical activity, the thermic effect of food, yes, eating actually burns calories, and your non-exercise thermogenesis, otherwise called NEAT. And that's the energy expended for non-exercise activities that is not sleeping, eating or sports related exercise, such as fidgeting or standing or whatever. And there's loads of places online where you can find this out. You basically enter your weight, your age, your height, and it works out a figure. And the figure for me is 2150. That's 2,150 calories, which means if I ate 2,150 calories every single day, change nothing, I wouldn't gain, but I wouldn't lose. So in order to elicit a calorie deficit, I have to consume less than that. When I first started this, I was consuming 1,200, and to be honest, that's a bit ambitious. So of late, I've aimed for about 1,800. And to be honest, I think that's where a lot of my problems started. I was allowing myself a bit extra, and sometimes that would lead to a lot extra. Now, the unfair thing for ladies out there is you have less calories to play with. I can't do anything about that. I can't change that. So you might have to give yourself less of a calorie deficit to keep yourself happy. Or perhaps, if you're just starting out, just try consuming your TDEE for a while. You're not going to lose, but you're not going to gain. If you're totally new to this, perhaps you might want to try tracking what you ate yesterday. Plenty of trackers out there. I use MyFitnessPal, but NutriCheck, countless others, but don't get sucked into paying for it. I've been using MyFitnessPal on and off now for many years. Haven't paid them a penny, get the odd annoying advert. Annoying adverts annoy you that much, give them some money, but that's all you're going to gain. A couple of extra features for your macros, but you probably don't need them yet. And you'd be surprised how many calories you ate yesterday. I would say if you're not losing weight, you will probably find that figure is above your TDEE. No surprises there, Ian. Why don't you put in the comments below if you have tried this and how many calories you consumed. Let me know what you think your TDEE is as well, and I'll tell you why you're gaining weight, but you'll have already worked that out for yourself. So the way I've done this is I've reduced, and they say if you consume 500 calories a day less than your TDEE, you will definitely lose weight. And they reckon that's about right for losing £2 a week. So conversely, if you consume 500 or more calories a day extra over the space of a week, you'll gain £2. Not rocket science. Nobody's asked you for any money, nobody sold you any plans, nobody's got you liquidising lemons and drinking them with water. That's it. So what does that food actually look like? Well, a fairly typical and boring day would be, you could go to Greggs, you could have a bacon roll, that's 336 calories. If you like a bacon roll, I tend to prefer overnight oats because I find it more filling. For lunch, there's plenty of things out there for 300 calories. Some of the ready meals, some of the pasta pots, loads of things. So far you're up to 600. That gives you, if your deficit figure is 1600, that gives you up to 1000 calories to play with. Go to Wetherspoons, have a meal out. I had a co-op paella tonight. That kicked in at 448. So I threw some fries with it, homemade sweet potato fries, took it up to 648. I'm currently sitting on about 1400 calories. That's not bad, is it? If you eat that sort of level of food every day, it's not starving yourself, it's not even fancy cooking. You're just buying food and eating it. You eat that level every day, you will lose weight. If you're in your first week, you may even lose £7. It's holiday season coming up. It's quite possible to shift £7 to £10 before the kids go off for school. Now, how great is that? £10 is a massive amount, but it's there for you. So normally in these videos I tell you what my calorie deficit was for the week, but I can tell you now it wasn't one. I didn't track, and I hate to think what my scale weight's going to be next week. So this is my reset, and I'm going to try and track every day from now on. So I can't tell you what my average was, but looking at some of the days, I'd say my average was probably 400 to 500 over my TDEE. The only reason I lost weight on last week's weigh-in was because I was eating less than the week before, I think. Yeah, I've gone crazy the last few weeks. Why don't you tell me in the comments if you've done any mad things? Tell me if you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, it's going to be easy. You just consume less than your TDE, you're going to lose weight, and the first few weeks are going to be phenomenal. But you need to have a plan for you. And what I find works is to actually semi-plan tonight what I'm eating tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm on overnight oats. I've got my last portion of Huel left that was sitting in the back of a cupboard. Huel is a ready meal that you mix up. It tastes disgusting, but it gives you loads of nutrients. And then tomorrow night I'll cook something proper. I'm pretty convinced I'm going to be on for close to 1400. I think I've got some venison grill steaks in the fridge that I got from Aldi last week. They're lean, high protein, low fat. I might do a side salad, I might do a baked potato, but whatever. I know roughly what I'm going to eat tomorrow night. I've also eliminated all the crud from my fridge and cupboard. I've got no crap. That's my downfall, eating crap. What's your downfall? So I hope I've convinced you it's easy. I probably haven't, but I'm telling you it's not hard. And you don't need to subscribe to any painful plans or any cooking regimes or cutting anything out. Today I had a bacon bat for breakfast. There's carbs in the bread. Didn't bother me. It's 8 o'clock at night. I've had 3 meals. I'm not hungry. Going to shoot a video. I'm going to go to bed. It's not rocket science. You're not changing your life totally. But what you need to be doing is tracking. We can't all live like saints. I'm probably not going to this week either. I'm going to try to because I need to get my mindset back into the place. So if you've been saving 500 calories a day, come the weekend, you could easily have eaten 3,000 less than your TDEE. There's potential there to have a bit of a blowout and still achieve a calorie deficit for the week. I tend to have my blowouts on a Wednesday because I pop out to a comedy night with my eldest, and we usually eat out. It's one night. We don't even go every week. So that works for me, be different for you. Not a big drinker because I'm driving every day. That helps to keep it down. But if you take one thing away from this, track. Even if some days you guess, get in the habit of tracking, because tracking helps you to remember what certain foods do to you. You get in the habit of knowing that most chocolate bars, single portion serving, Mars, Snickers from the vending machine, they're all round about the 200-ish. The low end of a garage sandwich is about 350. You'll know that as soon as they put sauces on it, they're hitting 700. You get to know these things, so you get to know where your go-tos are for easy snacks. And you'll be surprised how many of the fast food options are relatively low calorie. The McDonald's grilled chicken wrap, 300 and something calories, have that with a fruit bag. It's a lunch. It's not as nice a lunch as a Big Mac, but it's a lunch that's under 400 calories. Boom, you've been to McDonald's, you've stayed on plan. Right, I've rambled far too much. Really hope you're enjoying this. I've rushed this one because as well as being slack with my diet, I've been slack with my videos, and I'm coasting in that regard as well. You can probably tell by the last 3 or 4 that I'm just talking about shit. I'm not engaged. I'm not engaged in me, so I'm not engaged in my YouTube. However, I'm back. Hasta la vista, baby. We'll see you next week. Hopefully I'll have some better news about my progress. And I really love it when you guys comment. I'm one of these, I'm not an influencer, I'm just an amateur. I'm one of these guys that always respond to comments, always engage with people, get in early before I get popular. No, seriously, I love hearing from you guys. Tell me what's working for you, tell me what's not working for you, tell me why you can't just do this. I've been big for most of my life. I'm a lot less big than I used to be. Go figure. See you soon. Really look forward to making another one, and I'm happy with that.